gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of
Ask the Culpeppers, and we are
the Culpeppers.
Still the Culpeppers.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do not have a new co-host. This is my brilliant wife that you see here, although the top portion of her has been altered just a bit,
Slightly.
but it's still her.
It's magic.
That's
it's
right.
Magic. All right, so we're going to dive in. Again, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
The Baby Spot Disco Blow Prentice Magazine.
It's like a jingle.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms, including
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
the Twitter.
And be sure, folks, to like and comment. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button on Facebook. Hit the heart like button on Instagram and hit retweet on Twitter. That's
Retweet.
close enough.
That sounds good.
Something like that.
Do all those things.
Yeah, do all those things.
All right, we've got
All
a
right, let's
question.
go.
Get ready.
All right.
So here's our question for the day. Dear Derrick and Lakisha,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever have to deal with sibling rivalry? My son and daughter are twins and are in constant competition with each other.
Uh-oh.
Who got the best grades? Who did the best on their sports team? Even who has more friends in class. They are 11 years old. What can I do to tell them that it's not always about being the best, but being family? This question comes from Terrance, and we are calling this the family feud. Oh my gosh, we're laughing because this is familiar, Terrance.
This is so us.
Familiar.
This is so us.
They are so competitive, and you can tell I'm the laid-back, non-competitive one. Not really.
I tell y'all, our kids. Okay,
so competitive.
Yeah, they try to outdo each other. They are really
words.
competitive. Now here's the interesting thing, and we're mostly speaking of the oldest two because they're close in age.
Yeah, they're about 2.5 years apart. Exactly.
Linda's like 8 years.
8 years
younger than Christine.
10 years younger than DJ.
But
she competes too, so still.
Oh, yes, she does. So it was a point to where DJ and Christine was about nose and nose.
They were the same
They
size.
were the same size. And so Christine has really always been kind of feisty. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure where they come from.
That's that middle child. You people
where
know
they
about
come from.
If
I
you
need
know
that
about
thumbs
the
up
middle
button
child,
too while
watch
we're
it.
talking.
I saw that. It's that middle child, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, her mom's got a little feist. She got a little spice.
Christine's got a little feist.
Little spice.
So her and DJ were about. I think they were what, maybe middle school, 8th grade and 6th grade.
No telling.
But anyway, of course, now DJ's outgrown it now. But anyway, it's like they were always arguing or fighting. DJ, even though DJ's the oldest, they have always been competitive that way. Yeah. And that didn't make it no better when they was nose and nose, about the same height. But of course, he's outgrown her now. But they were always into it. So, what we do is try to let them know, honestly, it's y'all be more encouraging to each other. Try to outdo each other, but don't turn it into
it can be a trash talking session.
Yes, it can be a trash talking session.
And here's the tricky part. Now, I can say this. Yes, in the home, that's like their number one, their first person. Like their first person to love, their first person to be competitive with. Like, because this is the person that we're with all the time, especially as twins. Like, I can't imagine. And so I think that's developmentally appropriate and normal. What we found, though, and what I appreciate is when my kids go out other places, sometimes it was kind of a little period where they couldn't decide if they were going to get together or not be friends because they were, competing against each other for friends and things like that. But eventually what we saw happening is even if at home there was a lot of competition, once they went out, they were a unit. They were a unit together. And if DJ saw someone messing with Christine, he was going to protect and take care of his sister and vice versa. Christine was not going to let anybody bother her brother. And so it's tricky. Like, I think it's normal and it's natural to have some competition, but the important thing is to really watch how they interact, especially as they get older, when they go outside the home. And because that's what I noticed. And then I wasn't so worried about it because I knew they may have a feud at home, but when they went outside the home and someone else was involved, it was family first.
And one other thing I want to mention too that we had to work on initially was you don't put each other down
in front of other people.
In front of other people.
Yes.
You know, like you don't ever keep your room clean or your laundry always piling up. We made sure no.
They can have those. They can hash that out when it was just the two of them or just us, but not in front of everyone.
Yeah,
else.
don't put each other down
in front of other people. And it would be the same for your spouse. Just like you don't want to talk bad about your husband, you know, in the middle of a dinner party. Like you just don't do that. And so what was really cool, and you reminded me of something else. I can honestly say this, like as a family, we play board games, we compete athletic, like we do a lot of competitive things against each other. Like we'll have Uno, we taught the big kids how to play spades, so we'll have 2 versus 2, you know. So we play a lot of games. And so that in some ways really made them probably more competitive, but it does give them a place to channel it. So they're not, you know, arguing about too much stuff. We'll play a game and we'll, you know, hash it out that way. And so then that also gives us family time, which I love. But yeah. And one other thing, I didn't actually experience sibling rivalry coming up because I'm 5 years older than my youngest brother. Mm-hmm. So, and then my other brothers are younger than that because I'm the oldest. And so it really was never a rivalry, if you will. But it's interesting because your brothers don't tell that same story. I think it's funny.
Well, I was older than them. I've always been bigger than them. They're bigger than me now.
But they'll say you were mean
that's
to them.
hogwash.
He was mean to us, so we couldn't do anything.
That's copy. That's chin music. It's not true. Jay.
That's his version.
Jay, when you watch this, please, Jay, Darl, and Ray, and my mama, when y'all watch this video, y'all please chime in at the bottom. No, I was good to my younger brother. I didn't bother them.
I didn't say you weren't good to them. I'm just saying their version of what happened then may be slightly different than your version, which it always is. And we know that. All right. Well, as always, thank you for tuning in with us today. We look forward to hearing your comments. And please do submit your questions to the email address provided.
All right, yeah. Do that. Follow us and make sure you hit that like button. Tell us where you're watching from. Watching this episode. Count those hearts. Tell us where you're watching from. Send us a direct message. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram. We're trying to grow all those platforms and get an opportunity to reach more people. So, all right, folks. Y'all be cool. Peace out.